Hello, everyone. It is Devin. I'm going to answer questions people sent in because I'm in need of distraction tonight. Let me look at a couple of questions that I have. I have a couple that got sent to me as asks. I'll go through those ones first. Why? Because I have declared it so. I don't know. Don't mind me. First question from Anonymous. Are you okay? Yes, as okay as I ever am. Uh, it's not a bad thing that my mind is going to implode on itself as it normally would be. It's just very anticipatory. We'll go with that because that's a good word. It's really fun to say. I'm going to take a moment to pause, and you're all going to say anticipatory. I hope you did, because otherwise I'm very disappointed in you. Um, Next question I have is from Dual Personality, who asks, what book or book series setting would you most like to run a game in? There are a few. I would really, really love to run. I'd really, really love to run a Dresden Files game, um, just in general, because I think that would be awesome. There is, of course, the Dresden Files RPG stuff put out by. Is it Evil Hat? I think Evil Hat does it. That sounds close. It's using the Fate system, which is really fun to play with. I would love to get to play with it more. The next one that comes to mind is, again, one that I thought about using the Fate system for, would be Stardust. That just seems like that would be a good match for me in my head. Or I would really, really love uh, the. I don't know what the whole series is called, but uh, I guess I was gonna say the Night Watch books by Sergei Lukienko. I probably just mutilated his last name. Sorry about that. But like Night Watch, Day Watch, Twilight Watch. There's another one, but I can't remember the name of it right now. Um, those ones would be really fun. But I guess that's not far off from the Dresden Files. World War Z. Uh, like that seems like that would be a really great setting to play in. Very grim zombie stuff. Having to survive it would be cool. Um, but yeah, there's a few that I would like to play with. The next question I have is, tell a funny gaming story. You have a bunch. This question comes from my wife. Um. Okay. Um. I as a DM tend to like to torment certain of my players. I very rarely kill PCs in my games. Part of the reason of that is because I can do more terrible things to them while they're alive. um, so for a while, um, it was a running joke that my friend Randy's character would constantly be caught up by succubi. I think the start of this was because if you read the rules for the perform check skill, and at this point I'm going to, excuse me, slightly hope that the DM of my Pathfinder game is not watching. Um, but when you read the rules for a perform check, a DC 35 check, you are likely to basically draw the attention of a patron, like nobles from far away, or it says something to the effect of um, people from beings from other planes. So in one of our games, we were about like 15th level or something. Um, my games, we have a real tendency to go very charisma heavy on all of our characters because we're role players a lot. Like we role play a lot, and also we have a tendency to classes that involve a lot of charisma based skills. So our 14th, 15th level bard, something like that, who was consistently making his perform checks in the 40s, eventually picked up a succubus who was following him around and wanted to adopt him as a toy, basically. Um, so yeah, that was fun. There was another game where the party went into a dungeon and there is a woman who is trapped there. There's 3 player characters. My wife, Randy, and his girlfriend at the time. Um, my wife's character and Randy's girlfriend's character all were very suspicious of this woman who was randomly being held prisoner in a dungeon. Randy was playing a gnome, a very chivalrous young gnome who decided, oh no, she's being held prisoner, I have to help her. So I helped her escape and helped her get out of that particular part of the dungeon. And when he finally got her out, she gave him a kiss as a thank you and drained a level from him. This finally did kind of culminate in one session where Randy basically, the party comes across this big ritual, summoning ritual that's going on. There are these people who are being used as sacrifices. Randy, again playing the bard from the first campaign I talked about, runs up onto the altar to save them and stays up there for some reason for like a round or two. Randy, despite the fact that he's a bard, is also, his character was probably one of the more, shall we say, innocent character members, and he got killed by a succubus to finish the summoning ritual that he was in fact trying to stop. The death didn't take, though. It was a whole thing. Yeah, so that's kind of my fun thing about torturing my friend Randy with succubi. My other favorite story about torturing players as a DM is one campaign where I had just we were doing our first session. Everybody was finishing up their characters. Most everybody was done. Most of the players were sitting in the living room. I was sitting on at a counter in our kitchen. And I just looked up and I called out to the players. I'm like, "Hey, everybody, just roll a d20 for me." So there's 3 players there. My friend George rolls, like, I got an 18. Randy rolls, like, I got a 13. And this other friend of ours, Ben, he's like, I got a 7. And I'm like, okay, 18, 13. Oh shit, you got a 7? And he's like, yeah. Is that bad? I'm like, oh, no, don't worry about it. No, it's okay. 7. Okay, so he got so paranoid about it. It didn't actually mean anything. I just like making him roll d20s for no particular reason. Yeah, so those are some questions I've gotten so far. I have some more I will go back and answer, but hey, I've almost rambled for 10 minutes here, so might as well stop, right? I'll have another video up in a little while, in case anybody actually watches this one. Talk to you later, Tumblr.